The headlines: Republic Bank head predicts better economic times, more White Hill residents to be moved, and Digicel and Government sign public sector telecoms deal. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, January the 5th, 2016. The local head of Republic Bank, Ian D'Souza, says he's seeing the green shoots of economic recovery in Barbados. The managing director voiced his optimism about the performance of the economy this year in remarks at his annual media reception at Royal Westmoreland on Monday night. Echoing sentiments he shared at last year's event, Mr. D'Souza said Barbados had been through some tough times, but there's a lot to be thankful for.
As bankers, we are in the privileged position of being at the very top end of the food chain when investors, when business people in the economy decide on what they want to do. So it is because we know from very early what the business people, what the investors are thinking of. We have that knowledge, that information. So early in 2015, we saw people starting to think of new ideas, the people starting to look forward into when the turn in the economy was expected to come around. So it is with that knowledge you find that we are able to go out and make certain predictions.
The Queen Elizabeth Hospital says it will seek to reduce waiting times in accident and emergency this year through a better workflow. But CEO Dexter James said delays in A&E are still likely given the unpredictability of emergencies as well as the volume of patients with non-critical ailments. He encouraged patients with conditions that are not urgent or life-threatening to seek care at the nearest polyclinic. 5 more households are to be relocated from White Hill and St. Andrew, an area prone to landslides. Government Senator Irene Sandiford Garner said some residents will be given homes while others will be allocated money to allow them to move. This follows the recent construction of a temporary road in the area after heavy rains caused the main access road to break away more than a year ago. Mrs. Sandiford Garner, the defeated Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. Andrew in the last election, commended the residents for taking what she called a mature approach to their hardships, although some children missed school or got sick due to the dusty condition of the road. She was speaking during a party she hosted for children of White Hill.
They could have marched, they could have demonstrated, they could have done a lot of things as well. But they took a pretty mature approach to the situation. Yes, you would have heard some frustrations in the media, but from a voice or particular voices all the time, the same ones. But in general, the residents of this area have been very strong and they've been very mature in their approach to the hardship which they had, and they had hardship. So this is for these children of White Hill today.
The owner of Mount Wilton Plantation in St. Thomas, Anthony Nichols, says the molasses being dumped on his land poses no threat to Harrison's Cave. He was responding to MP Cynthia Ford, who said the liquid waste was giving off a terrible odor. She said also that since it had been raining, the runoff would seep into the coral limestone and threaten Harrison's Cave. However, Mr. Nichols said the substance was not fit for consumption, so dumping was the only way to dispose of it. He also said the runoff would not reach the cave since it was on a different water course. The government and Digicel have signed a deal under which the company will provide broadband and an integrated telecoms network for the civil service in a contract valued at $2.4 million. When the agreement was first announced late last year, the government said it expected savings of up to 53%. Digicel has said the new network connecting government ministries and departments will be able to transmit data up to 100 times faster than before. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Civil Service, Alison Fort, who signed on behalf of government, told reporters that there are currently 12 independently developed networks in use within the public sector with no connectivity between them. Up next is Hayden Gill with this week's commentary on waste disposal.
It is clear there's a national problem when it comes to the disposal of garbage. It is not uncommon to see people walk past garbage bins and drop their trash on the ground. Empty paper wrappers and PET bottles come flying from nowhere, indiscriminately thrown from moving vehicles. We often see these local dumping sites where people just toss garbage. Some of it has not been properly bagged and is fair game for neighborhood dogs, flies, and rats are not far behind. The mindset seems to be, if it is not me, it is not my problem. But the proper disposal of garbage is a problem for all of us. Pests carry disease and groundwater leachate can contaminate our water supply. Keep Barbados clean before we have a national outbreak of some disease that could have been prevented.
In sport, the Minister of Sport, Stephen Lashley, says Barbados is likely to get significant exposure after the Florida-based Eastern Surf magazine named Barbadian Chelsea Tua Surfer of the Year. He made the comments as he offered congratulations to the 20-year-old.
For Eastern Surf to name her as the Surfer of the Year at 20 years old, I think is a phenomenal vote of confidence in Chelsea as a surfer, and of course it brings pride to Barbados. The kind of exposure that Barbados will certainly get from this achievement cannot be paid for in dollars. It is the kind of connection that sports has in terms of its tremendous marketability, and certainly what I've been saying for quite a while, the importance of sports in generating that significant attraction and certainly value added for Barbados.
West Indies prospects of earning a draw in the third and final test against Australia at Sydney have improved after the third day was washed out by rain. West Indies 2-0 down in the series were due to begin day 4 on 248 for 7. And finally, a schoolboy cricketer in India has made history, shattering the world record for the number of runs scored in an innings. Pranav Dhanawade, the 15-year-old son of a rickshaw driver, scored 1,009 runs in the Bandari Cup and Under-16 Inter-School Tournament. He plundered 59 sixes and 129 fours in an epic innings that lasted more than 6.5 hours and 323 balls. He broke the record for the highest individual runs scored by a batsman in an organised match. The old score of 628 was set by Englishman A.E.J. Collins in 1899. The school declared at a world record 1,465 for 3. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.